because I won't remember everything later. And that way you don't have to worry about like trying to take notes or, whatever.
I love how you guys do things. It's great.
We try. Sometimes it gets off a little bit, and I've had Zoom lose, like not record or whatever. And
Yeah.
so that sucked, but it is what it is. So where you are right now, I'll show you these, and I'll send you the pictures over email here in a minute. So you have the Wrath card sideways. Then you have I Won't Cry for You sideways. But then you have Morgan Le Fay, which that card, that's also a shadow card, but it's atonement and growth. So what's interesting is I have a feeling you're getting to that done point, and not done in a good way, done in a let's burn things to the ground kind of way. And not feeling sorry for anybody when you do it. And being that we're talking about job stuff and so on, that's kind of what I put my intention in. So, path-wise where you need to be. So that also tells me that you have people at work that kind of fuck with you hardcore, whether it's with schedule or where they're putting you or whatever it is. You have people that they may not realize they're doing it, but I think some of them realize they're doing it on purpose. So either where they don't like you, or maybe you've stood up to them, or whatever it is, they're doing it on purpose and you know it. And it's like all these little bitty things that are piling up, and they just keep piling up. So it's going to get to the point where you are going to be ready to kind of just burn that bridge to less than ash, and not feel one bit bad about it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like in that part, I mean, the job is pretty good. The people to my face, they seem decent. We all get along great. I think it's the fact that they're making us get our CDL licenses. I do not want my CDL, but if I don't get my CDL, I can't be in that position. I'll have to get put back in the building, and I work too hard to move up. I do have a friend that worked in the same facility but isn't there at the moment, that has pushed me to, supposedly with his best interest or with my best interest, to see me get full-time, things like that. But I mean, everybody then also knows that it's really not, it was not the job that I wanted for my future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of this. Oh, I feel so dumb right now. I forget that I have 3 cameras on my phone. So I had one of the zoomed in ones, and I'm like, oh God, I can't get it. And I'm like, dumbass, like hit that one.
I have the same on mine. I love taking my pictures through my phone. So much better than my cameras.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is your first line. So your anchor card here, you have the Hunter upside down. Now I got to move them all over. I laid them out all perfect. Now I'm like, damn it. Now I got to move them all over. And then you have Fortune's Wheel, which is the right timing. And then you have the Wall, which is obstacles. And then these 2 are upside down. You have Dominance upside down. And then you have Perspective upside down. You have Joy upside down. And then you have the Sight of the Owl upside down. Like yours is all upside down. Then you have the Skull upside down. And then you have the Protection card sideways. And I have another card that I always use like at the very last after I've gone through all this. So I'm taking this as the path where you are right now, like the path where you are right now. Because that Hunter being upside down, like there's a lot of stagnant right here. Is kind of the word that I keep getting. That Hunter being upside down tells me that you're just sitting. You're just waiting. You're sitting. Not hunting, not moving, not And I don't mean physically, I mean like emotionally, mentally, you're just, it's like you're being held there, but that's not the right thing. I'm trying to figure out, like, my words are not working correctly right now. It's starting to make me mad. You're literally just sitting there. And I feel like enclosed, like there's a glass case around you. You're waiting for the right thing to happen. You're waiting for the right time. I do like that Fortune's Wheel is the first card off the bat in telling me that you're waiting for the right time, because I feel like you know in your gut that something will change and you'll know. And seeing that card there tells me that that's exactly what will happen. There will be a moment when you're like, okay. But that obstacles card there tells me there's a lot of obstacles to overcome before you get to that point. Some of these obstacles are that unfortunately you're going to end up feeling a lot more less than in some areas. That dominance card being upside down tells me that it's almost like getting pushed down and pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. Then the perspective card being upside down tells me that there's something in your own perspective that has to shift, and it has to shift really hard. The joy card being upside down, I think it's already, I think that's already happening. Just a little bit that we've talked, I think that's already happening. So that one's kind of self-explanatory. But the side of the owl card being upside down, that one's kind of self-explanatory too, in that you don't have the wisdom to move forward right now. And it's like, but it's not that you don't have it, you have it, you just can't, it's being hidden from you. Does that make sense? Like, that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
It's like it's there, but there's like this glass, like foggy glass in front of you, and you can't unfog it yet.
Right.
The skull being upside down. So the skull in that deck in particular is also knowledge and wisdom and so on. It can also be cunning and not really trickery, but just cunning. Being that that's upside down after all these as well, tells me that there's still something you have to learn here. It's like a domino effect. Like once you learn this, then this happens, this happens, this happens. You know what I mean? It's like a domino.
Yeah.
That protection card sideways does kind of bother me a little bit, just because it's A, because it's sideways, and B, because it tells me that whatever this is that you have to learn, it's something that you're going to have to be completely unprotected for it to happen. So the protections you're putting into place, I would never tell somebody to not put them in place. But the fact that that's sideways and it's at the end going towards, what you're wanting to do, there's going to be some protections that get dropped that you have no control over. So keep putting your own protections in place, because you don't have control over these other ones. They're going to be dropped on purpose. Do you have like a deity that you work with or anything right now?
I've, like I said, the last time I had a reading with Pam for my deities, she told me that because I told her I felt like I was connected to Isis, she said that Osiris was not being very nice to me. He's been putting me in a lot of hard positions. I've been trying to look up ways to do offerings or to have, for him. And also Nyx,
Okay.
who I had never heard of before up until she mentioned it, which does resonate with a lot of, I am obsessed with the moon. I love the night, things like that. Still trying to get myself into, I've never had someone or a deity that I did anything for. So it's new to me. But she said that
No.
that Osiris would be the one that if I didn't if I didn't start seeing his signs that he's going to push it, he's going to drop it right on me. And it was, she basically said it was going to scare the shit out of me.
Mhm.
So I'm like trying to figure out like what it is that I'm supposed to be seeing. And then I started getting, after I had that reading, I started having some weird dreams
Mhm.
of walking, you know, being out in the street by my house, and then having where everything is like gray, like a
Okay.
black and whitish kind of gray, and the wind is going through. It's like bending over the treetops, but it was a nice breeze if when it hit you,
Mhm.
and then it swished me up into the air like ass over tea kettle, friggin' feet in the air. You know, me, I'm afraid of heights, so I'm like obviously wanting to try to grab a hold of something, and then it landed me on the ground, and then it did it 2 more times.
Mhm.
And I've been trying to, I looked it up from what was online saying that, you know, if the wind picked you up and then put you back down in the way you were walking, that was change that you saw coming.
Mhm.
If it threw you up into the air and it switched you around and put you in the opposite direction, there's change coming that you don't see.
Right.
So that's what I got from it. And that's pretty much, you know, all I can. I tried it, and after that I haven't been able to remember my dreams, or I remember like little bits and pieces, but they just seem irrelevant.
Okay. Okay.
But
So,
I do try to meditate. I try to open my third eye. I try to get in more contact with other guides. She did say that there was another woman that apparently I knew, and I did ask my mother about it, and she was like, you know, a woman that was never happy, that maybe I was trying to show her compassion, but she was trying to toughen me up because I'm very much a softie. I wear my emotions right out there. um I asked her about it, and she's like, well, that's half our family, because they're all cranky bitches, everything apparently, which I don't seem to get any of myself from them. Like, I'm
mhm.
very compassionate, you know, I have unconditional love for people. um I am currently living with my mother, who gives me grief on a daily basis. Makes it kind of hard. I kind of see that as my glass box, where I'm not getting myself out there because it's her. It's always about money. You know, my car's been broke down for about since June. I should be getting it back soon, but I'm paying for a rental every week,
Mhm.
you know, and it's every argument that me and her have is over money. And even my daughter, when she moved, she said that she never had such a weight lifted off of her
Mm.
than from being in this house. And honestly, when I walk through the door, I get very, what's the word? Not melancholy, but it brings me down.
Mhm.
Granted,
Yeah.
she's not here this weekend. She went to Vermont, so I have peace. You know, it's not so bad, but I just feel like that's one of my blockages as far as me getting out there.
Yeah.
And my other obstacle that is holding me in place for now is my daughter, my youngest,
Mhm.
who is in special education. She does seem to have some anger issues, just constant attitude, wanting to start fights, but I can't progress until she graduates,
Yeah.
because then I don't have to worry about getting a call from the school every day, or
Yeah.
hey, come pick me up early. You know, it's something every day. And it's been like that for years. I mean,
Mm.
I'm a culinary school, 2-time culinary school graduate, but yeah, I couldn't hold a job that I wasn't going to get let go from because of issues with my child at school.
Yeah.
So, but as far as, you know, like I said, deity wise, I kind of feel I'm still working towards that. I don't have a particular one that I do anything for right now, as far as
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do for those three.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I tend to talk.
how long do you have until she graduates?
Till June.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
this is her senior year.
yeah, senior year.
Okay.
Thank God, because I can't. I'm done with this bitch. I love her,
I
but it's
I
like,
understand.
stop. And
Yeah.
she's always got her hand out too. And it's just like, I can't save anything. I can't do anything, even to try and make money on the side. Like, I can't, because it's do this here, do this there, or go to work for 10 hours a day, come home, and I'm completely exhausted.
Yeah. So what will she do when you move? Stay there with your mom?
No. She'll come with me.
Okay.
Yeah, they do not get along. They really don't. She doesn't seem to get along with anybody, Jillian, my youngest.
Mm-hmm.
She's I don't know if I would love a reading done for her one day, just to see what makes this kid tick, like what's going through her head, because we have gone through an issue. I just got a call today. She's a victim. A friend of mine, ex-friend, touched her. So now it's court battles,
Mm-hmm.
since she was younger. I think she was like 9 or 10. So we're
Oh,
talking the
wow.
several years. She's 17 now. So it's, going through that. Plus her father was extremely abusive, which is
Mhm.
one of my blockages from the abuse he used to put me through.
Yeah.
So I've been single for 18 years
Oh, wow.
because I will not put myself in. When I was seeing somebody, kind of, sort of, you bring them over and then that's what happens. So I don't bring anybody
Yeah.
around. I'd rather sit in solitude and be my own best friend for the time being. I do have friends, but I don't hang out. I'm the hermit, basically.
Yeah. Hmm. So I have one card that I usually, if I'm sitting in front of somebody, I hand it to them and let them read it, but I can't really do that right now. So that's interesting. There's actually two. I was like, wait, that's very thick. So there's actually two. So this one right here, you're going to laugh, is the miracle of Isis. Isis
That is
offers
awesome.
miracle healing no matter how much you have struggled with a particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, or relationship issue or inner struggle being a part of it. You're guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. Let go and let the goddess be. So that's funny because I just saw the outside and I saw the inside of this card. So that's really funny, especially after what you just told me.
Yeah, that's
This
crazy.
one, however, this is the one that I thought was the back of that one. This one is the magic and ritual card. The effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Heart-centered ritual can support your inner path in the physical world. You're encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice as you grow in grace, love, ability, and wisdom, applying your inner beauty to transform your outer world. So I'll send a picture of both of these to you too, because that first one especially is really funny.
That is.
I love these cards so much.
I've got like 10 decks of cards I need to learn how to read. I have like from regular to Oracle to Starseed cards, and it's just everything fascinates me. I was just playing with my pendulums because I lost 2 of my earpieces yesterday.
Oh
And
no.
I'm like, are they in the house? Because another thing too is I can't remember shit. I can't, like, I remember picking them up, but I don't know if I put them in my pocket. And then when I leave the house, I'm like, wait, like I have this cord, but I said, oh, I must have left them upstairs. Things just escape me, and I cannot remember things from like 5 minutes ago or something that was just brief. And now it's like I'm racking my brain, like tearing everything apart, trying to find 2 earpieces. But yeah,
Oh,
my mind's been a little on the out lately.
so the second line is you moving forward. Okay, like take a picture so you don't forget. Put it on the big camera. I like turned my camera off and like all this stuff popped up. I was like, no. So in this one, your anchor card is taming the wind.
That's funny. That's the one that lifted me off the ground.
That is funny. And then you have the Fool's Embrace, which is upside down. That's transmuting pain. And then you have Preparation, which is sideways. Then you have Relief, which is upside down. And Practical Intuition, which is upside down. And then you have Drought, which I'll send you pictures of these because it's hard to see all of them. I don't know why I felt you needed to see that one really close, but then you have Offerings upside down. Here's the one that intrigues me a little bit. This is the Karmic Debt card. And then you have the Pentagram upside down, which is protection, just like the last one. And then this one you have Grounding sideways. And then there's another Isis card there that we'll get to in a minute. But going forward, there's kind of a few things that have to happen. And I know that this whole reading was to determine what path you should be on, like where you should be going, etc. So I think it's really interesting that nothing has really popped up like that. So it tells me that the path you're on right now is the one you're supposed to be on right now. I think things are going to shift for you when the universe is ready and when the universe feels you're ready. And I don't think you're going to have any control over it. I think it's just going to shift. You're just going to be like, okay, this is what we're doing now. The Taming the Wind is very interesting at the beginning of this line because it tells me that there's some chaos coming your way. The Transmitting Pain being upside down tells me, and this is funny too, being those two cards that I read to you at the end, that you do let go of a lot of things that you've been harboring for a while.
I've been doing that. I've been releasing a lot, and people, if they don't benefit my highest good or benefit me in any way after I've benefited them for quite some time, I just let them go. It's they
well, I
text
would say
me and
this
I'm
in
like, no.
particular is about your next 8 to 9 months. So it sounds like a long time, but it's probably going to go by much faster than you think. The Preparation card sideways tells me there's not really a lot you can do to prepare for this change either. You can a little bit with letting go of some things, you know what I mean? Like things we've already talked about a little bit. But other than that, there's not a lot of preparation that you can do for this. When this change does happen, it's going to throw you off in that where you're wanting relief from the situation you're in now, you're going to get that, but it's not going to be a relief, if that makes sense. It's going to be another, I don't want to say hard because it's not the right word, a different circumstance in moving forward. It's also going to throw you off in that you're going to feel like your intuition is disconnected, especially toward the end of these. I would say then like 7-8 months, the end of this period that I'm talking about right now, it's going to feel like your intuition is just like suddenly cut off. And there's no worse feeling in the world than that, because it's going to be getting built up and then just cut off. So you're going to go through a period where it's like a drought, where you're kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like I'm kind of drifting. I don't, my gut's not talking to me. Like, I don't know what's going on. Scam likely. I should answer that right now. The offerings being upside down tell me that that's not the time to be making offerings. So when this happens, you're going to be like, oh God, I gotta do offerings. I gotta do this. That's not what it is. So you're going to have to kind of fight that urge because there's no offerings you need to make then. This drought and what you're going through right now is part of a karmic debt that you're paying. That you
I'd like to know what the hell I did.
Well, what's funny is you're paying it to yourself. You're not even really paying it to the universe or whatever. You're paying it to yourself. That's
Okay.
why there's no offerings, no anything that can really be done to help. Hey, thank you, sir. No, thank you. The pentagram being upside down, you're going to be going through some hard shit, because that's the second time at the end of a line you've had your protection being, now it's just gone. Whereas before it was sideways, now it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's going to get pretty hairy. The grounding card right there tells me that that's the only thing you're going to be able to really focus on and do, is to stay grounded and stay strong. And what's funny is when I said that, I see a steel rod, like here's you, and I see a steel rod sticking up through your core. So you're going to have to really start putting that steel rod in place to anchor you to the ground. And I think that's how you're going to tame the wind pushing you everywhere, because
Okay.
it's going to get rough over the next 8 months. So this card is the Healing the Divine Masculine card. And it says the divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding, even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability, so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. So you got to go through some bullshit to heal that aspect of yourself. But that also tells me that after this part is over, it's a very fertile time for you, as
Okay.
in moving forward, as in your path, as you know what I mean, job wise, etc.
Right.
So just keep that in mind, that while the next 8 months is going to be kind of a shit show, even worse than it is now, it's for a reason. And it's a debt that you're paying that you can cross off your soul's checklist, basically.
Okay.
I wish that I could have been like, oh, okay, here's what you need to do. But instead it's like, nope, more shit.
It never
And
seems
more
to
shit.
be easy. It's crazy, because it's like the past 20 plus years has just been nothing but bad.
Right.
And you're just like hoping to get a sense of something good,
Mhm.
you know. I mean, if I've gone through half the shit I've already gone through, then I should be able to withstand anything that's coming my way. But
Mhm.
it's like shit. Like there's just so much crap, and it just seems like there's no end to it.
Yeah. No, I fully understand that. I fully understand that. I'm trying to send you these pictures real quick. So, all right. Hopefully they'll send in order. Sometimes it rearranges them. What am I doing here? Oh, wrong one. I almost sent you somebody else's, and then you would have been like, that's not what she said. Those cards look wrong. So yeah, the only thing you can do in going forward is to just stay as grounded as possible. What do you do now to stay grounded?
Honestly, it's new to me.
Okay.
I usually just, it's like when I get up in the morning and I take a shower,
Mhm.
I'm usually standing for a good couple of minutes in there saying, this is not my energy, please wash it away.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of all, any thoughts or whatever I've had going on, to just let it go, to let people go, to let the things that has happened to me go.
Mhm.
But like even when I was driving around this morning, like I drive through cemeteries. I love cemeteries. I take pictures of them.
Mhm.
And it's just like I start thinking of things, and it's just, and they pop into my head. And it's like, why is this still in there? Like it's done and over with. You can't do nothing to change it. And as I try to just let it go.
Mhm.
But because some of them are just so personal to me, that it's like I can't let them go. I'm kind of
Yeah.
wondering if that's what some of the debt that I'm like karmic debt is, just because I can't let go of it. Like I'm
Mm.
trying to do the shadow work, just, but it's always there. You
Yeah.
know, the abuse that I went through, the stuff that I see in my daughter, um, who her father was the abusive one. We left before she was born, but it's like it's still there. Like no
Yeah.
matter how much I
Yeah.
say this isn't going to bother me anymore, it still does.
Mhm.
I just especially love it when people's like, "Oh, get over it." It's like no, like you don't understand the emotional toll
Yeah.
that it takes on a person, and
Mhm.
especially the type of person I am. It literally sits here, like my little shoulder devil, my little shoulder angel,
Yeah.
and it just like whispers into my ear, and it drives me crazy.
I do understand a lot. I really do. So I was married to someone like that for a very, very long time. And I still, even though I've done a lot of inner healing and a lot of outer heal, like everything, it's still, you don't realize some of your triggers until they happen and you're like, why am I reacting this way? Like, it was
Yeah,
just, you know, somebody on TV yelling, why am I upset? Things like that. It
exactly. I
just
see
hits you
stuff
weird.
on like I'll see something start on time. I'm like, nope, swipe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't watch that. But
Yeah.
it's weird, like, even like now, yeah, I'm emotional, but it's like everything that I watch, anything that I hear, whether like I don't get angry,
Mhm.
I just cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Because did you used to get angry?
No, no, I think it's more, oh, what, me? Or
Mhm. Yeah.
no, I don't think I've ever gotten angry. Well, I mean, a couple of times to where I scared myself.
Gotcha.
And my youngest came at me one day and I just went off on her, and nothing to hurt her, but my voice changed. Um, she said she's never heard me talk like that before. And it's like if I think that if I was to react a certain way, I might hurt somebody.
Yeah. There's a
Totally
lot of
not me.
pent up anger in there.
Totally. Oh, there is. There really is. Especially here being with an Aries.
Yeah.
I'm stuck right now between an Aries and a Taurus.
Oh
It's just
Lord. What
I'm
are
like, oh
you?
my God. They I'm sorry.
What are you?
I'm a Cancer.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Cancer, Sun, Libra, Moon, Scorpio rising.
Oh
I don't know
my.
what I don't know what the other two are. You see that right there? But
Oh my.
I've got a Taurus, and my mother's the Aries, and it's just like, oh, I can't. It takes too much, to the point to where I've given up.
Mhm.
And I just told Jillian, like, shit, like, Jillian's my youngest. And I'll just
Yeah.
sit there and like, you have to learn to pick your own battles. And I'm tired of fighting, tired of it. Cause it's like, then, my mom will come out and be like, well, why aren't you angry? Because I can't fix it. I can't do anything. Once I get my vehicle back, then I can start, helping with things around here. But it's like, they don't understand the things that I go through.
Mhm.
As far as like, when I said that I was abused, she's like, oh no, you were brainwashed. Like, you weren't there for 4 years.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You don't know what's going on, but I can guarantee, like right now, she went to her sister's up in Vermont, and as much as my ears ring, they're ringing more. And I
Mm.
know there's shit talk. I
Yeah.
know there is. And it's just like, I don't even care anymore. Why do I have to keep putting it out there that I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry for something I can't control? Whatever.
Yep.
That's the point where I'd rather just stay by myself, away from everyone, until I can get to a place where I'll be happy. And
Yeah.
I have a feeling that when I move and I go out there to be with, I got 2 daughters and a son out there.
Aw.
And then I'll have my other, I do have another daughter here, but it's again, me trusting people to where they pretty much took her from me. Not in like, we went to court. I gave them temporary custody because she's autistic
Mhm.
and I needed the help being a single parent coming back from that relationship. And then, they fell in love with her. And I was also told that, they didn't, I was purposely not giving my court papers for the date. So it looked
Mhm.
like I abandoned her. But I look at it as, yes, I love her. She's my daughter, but she's getting everything she needs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. So what I worry about is whether or not she's going to resent me later on about it.
Gotcha. So do you
You
see
know?
her or anything?
No, they don't allow us to see her.
Mhm.
Basically, there was a person that it was funny because I started when I was at work, another girl came up and I saw that she had friends, mutual friends on Facebook. I'm like, how do you know this person? Which is the woman that has my daughter now. And she's like, oh, that's my aunt. And I'm like, oh. I said, well, I said, Gabrielle. And she's like, yeah. I said, well, that's my daughter. And her face turned white. She was like, are you kidding me? And then she basically told me that they were telling everybody that she was autistic because I gave her fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, wow.
I don't drink.
Oh, wow.
I have been around enough alcoholics in my life to not want to drink. If it was
Yeah.
socially, fine, but I don't get inebriated drunk. I don't even get drunk. I barely get buzzed. And then for that to happen, it's like matter of fact, I was just thinking about it this morning when I said that I was moving. It's like I should go to her now adopted mother and just say, hey, just for the fact that this is what you think and I'm moving out this way, I just want you to know some facts. What other people have told you were not the truth.
Mhm.
But I don't like to cause waves either.
Yeah.
I definitely do not like confrontation. I don't.
And
I'm the
how old is your daughter?
She's now 20.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be 21 in March.
So does do you think that they're telling her stuff about you? Or do you think they even discuss it?
I think to a point, I don't think they discuss it with her.
Gotcha.
But there were times that my other daughter, who is her biological sister, because
Mhm.
her father was also the abusive one, she had asked her one day if she could like spend the night. And then they always bring up safety. Like, oh no, she doesn't think I'd be safe there. Like, what is it that people think I've done? I went to work, I went to school, I went to work, I took care of my family. And it's just like I just know, so at some point, I guess there was one time that she was little, she had gotten away from me. I had fallen asleep and she got out of the house and then she was found. And then when I gave them temporary custody, she did the exact same thing to them once. She got out and they couldn't find her. And then they were found and then cops were brought in and all this other stuff. And it's like, you can't blame me because
Yeah.
little kids are sneaky.
Mhm.
They find a way,
Mhm.
so, but I'm sure if it was from the same person, I'm sure a lot of shit was said, and I just don't confront it because I can't change people's minds. They're
Yeah.
going to think what they want to think no matter what.
Mhm.
So I could come out looking like the Virgin Mary to them or, portray myself as that, but they're going to see my horns and tail behind me.
Mhm.
So it doesn't do me any good to fight back, you know.
Yeah,
Just doesn't, it's a waste of energy sometimes.
I understand. I really
So
do. I really
sorry.
do.
Didn't mean to put all
No,
that emotional shit out there.
no, it's okay. It makes a lot of sense. And in dealing with some of this, you're reading and stuff, it makes a lot of sense as well. I mean, you're going to have some other hard things to go through over the next 8 months
Yeah.
and before you're able to get away from the shit, get away from the bullshit.
nothing
So
happens to say exactly what it might be, so I can be somewhat prepared.
yeah, and that's what sucks. I was like, normally I can be like, okay, blah, 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 blah. But mm-mm. So usually when that happens, I take that as it's not, I mean, that preparation card being sideways, it's not even something you can prepare for.
Yeah.
So
So
I
Cyrus
take
is
that
being
as
just
it's
a straight up
not,
dick.
yeah, it's not my place to tell you. So I don't know if you're even going to be privy to the information. It's just going to happen. So it's
Right.
more just, okay, know that shit's coming your way, you don't know what it is, but it's coming your way. So it's about the only thing you can really do about it,
Yeah.
which I'm sorry.
No, it's
Like,
all right. It's still fair warning. At least now I know.
yeah, it's frustrating to me too, though, because I'm usually able to be like blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, I don't know. Here, it's in this box. Like, it's
Yeah.
in this box.
Andrea's box, not even Pandora's box anymore. It's Andrea's shit show box. But yeah,
There you go.
I usually try to go through and just look at everything with some humor too.
Mhm.
And I've been trying to do like the whole manifesting. I have my bay leaves. I write my stuff down on them, and then I just haven't cast them out. They're still sitting in my little pot,
Mhm.
until I can bring them someplace to let them go out into the breeze. But I've tried to do some manifesting, tried to do some light work for myself to just, I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right, but just trying to give myself positive affirmations every day.
Mhm.
But there's always something in the back of my head that just won't go away.
Yeah, I understand that, and I think some of it's probably spiritual with looking at where you're going, and the other parts from being in an abusive relationship. There's always that thing in the back. I mean,
Right.
and that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand is it's starting to be a little better and it's starting to be more understood. But and physical abuse is one thing. Like you can get over that, like bones
Oh yeah.
heal, cuts
Yeah.
heal, things like that. But emotional and mental abuse is, I
Yeah.
don't think people understand how bad that fucks somebody up.
No, a lot of people don't,
Yeah.
honestly. They really don't. And they don't take the time to, they're like, oh, just let it go, let it go. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
It really doesn't. Unless they have already been through it themselves, those are the only people that only truly know.
Yeah,
And it sucks, really, because nobody
it
should have
does.
to ever
It
go
it
through that.
does. And the fact that another person would do that to somebody, or a person would do that to another person, it's just not, I don't understand it either. But
Yeah.
yeah, no matter how much someone tells you how great you are, whatever, in the back of your head, you're still like, still not good enough.
Yeah,
Like, still not good enough. You're still a piece of shit. So yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
So I unfortunately understand all too well.
And I am sorry for that.
Well,
But
it is what it is.
it's nice to know when people understand.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that, I mean, I can't understand everything someone's been through, but I mean, I've lived in it for 15 years and was brainwashed, and that is part of it. You do get brainwashed to,
Yeah.
believing that you are that person, and so you can't find anybody else. You can't survive on your own. And so when you finally do leave and you take that step to get out, I don't think people understand how hard that is.
Yeah,
So because it
definitely.
gets worse. So all right, girly. Well, I've got to get off here because I've got another lady in about 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I greatly